Yes, that's right, we are looking at some more bowlers with extremely unorthodox styles. It would be boring if we all threw it the same way, and we all have our own way of delivering the ball. It's just that some styles are a lot more unusual than others. The question is, which players have the most unorthodox bowling styles of all time? That's what I've been aiming to find out in this video series. As I always say in these videos, it doesn't matter how you get the ball down the lane, the important thing is the ability to throw the ball consistently. Despite having unorthodox styles, all of these bowlers on this list have all had varying degrees of success on the Pro Tour. This is now part 5, and I've found some more bowlers with very unusual styles that we can take a look at. And just before we start with today's list, I want to run through some of the highlights from the other parts of this series so you have an idea of the bowlers I've included previously. There was Jacob Buttroff, who has the most unorthodox style on the PBA right now. He also uses a conventional grip, which is very uncommon, and he is in fact the only tour player to do so. His approach is definitely not pretty, but don't let that fool you. He's been incredibly consistent on tour over the last few years and has won 8 titles, including a major. To look at his approach, you wouldn't think he's a major winner, but it just goes to show that looks can be deceiving. Then we had Mike Lichstein, who has this very unorthodox way of bowling, but do you know what? There's a lot of elegance to his approach as well. He's a bit like a dancer, gliding across the approach, and while it might look very odd, he's a very talented bowler. In fact, he's extremely underrated and had a fantastic amateur career. There was also players like Rudy Revs for his unusual high rev style, Lou Campi, who always finishes on his wrong foot. Those were some of the highlights, but to see all of the players selected in the previous parts, make sure to check out those videos. So let's now move on to today's list, and we're going to start with number 1, Ayane Ogata.
指が離れるときにというところで、はい、かなり場内がこう暖かく熱くなってくるとむくみがひどくなってきます、ね。なるほど。はい。4フレームへ。さあ尾形。第4フレーム。ここもいいところに来ているストライク。尾形は決勝進出はまだありません。
In the last video, we started off with a Japanese bowler, and this video, we're going to start with another Japanese female bowler, and she was suggested by New World 12660 in the comment section, and she has a very unusual style that includes a huge upward push away and then a very high and delayed swing. It's definitely not textbook, but she makes it work and throws a decent ball. I've never really watched Japanese bowling, but it's certainly entertaining, and maybe I'll find some more bowlers to feature in a video at some point. Number 2, Mike Miller.
Still, the game he wants to win. He's not thinking 300, he's thinking beating Danny Wiseman. It's a solid strike on lane 25. The shootout round, and then he can start thinking about shooting 300. One more good shot, that's all he wants. And that wasn't just a good shot, Gary, that was a great shot. The best shot he's thrown the entire game. Just needs to maintain his form. Every shot, high flush in the pocket. Will it fall? It does! A very light right hit. He did it! And yes, we do!
Mike Miller is a 3-time titleist and won his first in 1991. He was a very unusual bowler as he didn't actually use his thumb, and obviously back in the 90s, that gave him a big advantage because of the revs he was able to generate. He was definitely ahead of his time in that respect. In recent years, we've seen Tom Smallwood and Tom Doherty throw one-handed without using their thumb, but there's something about the way that Mike does it. He's just so smooth with it. Miller is an extremely underrated bowler and also has bowled a televised perfect game on a PBA telecast. Number 3, Christian Azcona.
A neighbor. Nice. Azcona on the right. Azcona's second shot here in the title match. Throws that one in for back-to-back
That's the problem.
And continues to give him issues.
As Kona makes this list for his very unusual swing. It's definitely not textbook, but he has won a PBA title in 2018 and is a multiple regional winner. I believe he's also the first Puerto Rican player to win a PBA title, as Kona still competes on the tour, although we haven't seen him on a telecast for some time now. Number 4, Eugene McCune.
Seed here at the Cheetah Championship.
That ball gets there in a hurry. Yes. Bam.
Bottom of the 4th. Back.
Whoa. Almost lost his balance and the sound those pins make, startling.
Next up is Eugene McCune, who I think has a very unorthodox way of delivering the ball, particularly when he's trying to really fire it down the lane. His game was almost built for the cheetah oil pattern, and out of his 3 titles, he's won the cheetah twice. In 2010, on his way to winning the title, he bowled a 9-game block where he averaged 274, which included 2 300s. The way he could get the ball down the lane was incredible, but he wasn't just a one-trick pony. He had the ability to slow things down and hook the lane, but clearly firing it up the gutter was his A-game. His father is Hall of Famer Don McCune, and his son, Kevin, is the 2023 PBA Players Championship winner, and Kevin has definitely inherited his father's ability to fire it up the lane. Number 5. Roger Bowker.
Bowker, 44-year-old from Ocala, Florida, comes up in the 8th frame.
Good shot. Happening momentarily.
Bowker, 4 in a row, going for 5.
Well, Roger Bowker.
Bowker going to close out here in the 10th frame. Well, he's got his A game going. Competition all week long.
It's exactly where you want to be. Everybody wants to lead the tournament.
Oh!
This man, Roger Bowker, was in the A and Bowker has advanced to the championship round against Butch Soper, and the championship round begins with a Bowker strike.
Roger Bowker has a very unusual style, as he doesn't use his other hand to hold the ball. This is a technique we've seen a handful of players use, such as Carmen Salvino and Wayne Webb. Why did they do this, you might ask? Well, I actually did this myself for a few months because it really helps with your timing. I've often had issues with a late push away, but I found that just by holding the ball like that, suddenly I could get the ball into the swing in the right time. It just looks quite odd to be holding the ball like that with one hand. But for Bowker, it brought him 5 titles between 1988 and 1998. And so that brings us to an end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed this one. And if you have any suggestions for other players who could be on this list, then let me know in the comment section below. If you have enjoyed what you've seen here today, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. That's all from me today, and as always, thank you bowling fans, and see you all next time.